Here's the thing, why does it not burn your stomach?
Yet.
Fuck.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today we're joined by Noel Gallagher. He's a rock and roll legend, formerly of the band Oasis, currently with Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. This Is the Place is the newest single and EP. Go check those out. But in the meantime, Noel Gallagher, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Are you a spicy food guy?
Not particularly. I've got a raging hangover because I had a show last night and we didn't get into all hours of the morning, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I've got beer and milk and water and I've got a load of enthusiasm.
All right.
Whoa! There you go. See how hot that was? It fucking jumped out of his hand. It's still alive.
Lost the first wing for the first time.
Man
10
down.
seasons in.
Man
down.
Man down.
All right, so this first one's the classic. Be careful, they're slippery.
It's all right.
So you're someone who fully understands the power of youth culture, from seeing the outlet it provided your own rebelliousness to the effect that your music has had on younger fans. When you look at youth culture today, do you say like, oh, well, Kanye is their Sex Pistols and Nikes are their Doc Martens, or do you have some sort of worry that the kids might be lost?
My youngest is either 9 or 7.
But definitely not 8.
It could be 8. And he's the law in our house. He is the law. He's the most switched on 9-year-old ever. But there's good stuff there, for sure. We've got a grime thing going on in England. That would be like the new punk rock or something. My kids are into all that, and I wouldn't probably have noticed if it wasn't for my children.
Are you proud that, with grime, UK can have hip hop that is distinctly English rather than some sort of copy of American rap?
So, yeah, I mean, when hip hop first came to England in the 80s and then British hip hop artists started, it was a bit kind of like that. But these guys that are doing the grime stuff, Stormzy and Skepta and people like that, they're talking in their own language and they've had huge records and headlining Glastonbury and things like that. They've done it all on their own terms by speaking their own language. There's no compromise to it. It all comes from the streets, and long may it rain. I can see even by the labels on the sauces, it's about to start getting, like there's one with a fucking nuclear bomb on it.
Yeah. So one of my favorite Noel Gallagherisms is the one about you being uninterested in everything besides music, family, and football.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference between being a Manchester City fan now versus when you were growing up? Like, do you think your kids take for granted that they're now a Premiership powerhouse?
In England, we don't, a team chooses you and that's it forever. In America, you guys kind of tend to, flip-flop and do whatever you want. The main difference is we're winning trophies now. We're living in the greatest times ever.
Are you still into the NFL? I haven't met many Brits that are into that variety of football.
Well, I do like it. Once I'd worked out the rules, I just love watching it because it looked fantastic and all the players looked like space age and all that, but I didn't know how it worked. And then once I'd worked out that hang on a minute, there's 3 goals to get the ball 10 yards, and if you don't do that on the 4th one, you've got to fucking launch it up the pitch. I was like, hang on a minute. Oh, okay, all right, I get this now. And if I'm ever touring America during the football season, there's nothing better than lying on a Sunday, kind of lying in a nondescript hotel room in fucking Buffalo, hungover, watching 3 games of American football while eating fucking mashed potatoes and for breakfast. There's nothing better than that. Pineapple habanero. We're not crossing unnecessary genres here.
Well, I think that's up to you to decide, What about?
I think we are then. It's like the idiot that first placed a pineapple on a pizza.
Well, you heard it here. You heard it here on Hot Ones.
It's not right. It's not right.
So in a 2011 Rolling Stone profile, legendary record producer David Sardi described you as one of the best songwriters of your generation. And I imagine that some, they come naturally to you, and others, maybe they take years.
Yeah.
What's the longest length of time you've ever had from when you started a song to when you finally finished it?
This is the place took 4 years from start to finish. Now, obviously not in the studio for 8 hours a day for 4 years. I mean, that would be insane, right? But kind of coming back to it, seeing you can get it better and better and better. But usually the songs that live longest in the public consciousness are the ones that they just fall out of the sky.
In comedy, there's this cliche that a fat comedian is maybe less funny once they lose the weight.
Even the premise of that is funny.
Is there a rock star corollary to that? Like, are there challenges in writing when you've experienced success that maybe you didn't have when you were just a boy in Manchester without a pot to piss in?
Well, fame and success, they can hit you pretty hard. For instance, Amy Winehouse never recovered from fame. God bless her, you know, she wasn't equipped to deal with it. When I was writing in the early days of Oasis, I was in the same circumstances as the audience. We hadn't made any money. We're still wearing the same clothes as the audience, and there's that magic period for maybe a year or 6 months where you're writing for the people that are coming to your gigs. And then there'll become a period where the big checks arrive and you go, right, well, I'm getting a fucking chimp, okay? I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And I'm getting a top hat and I'm getting a fucking car, and guess what? I can't even fucking drive. So then you start to become slightly removed from your audience, and then you've got to rethink what you do almost. But I think for me personally, I just trying to focus on the universal truths of life. You know, everybody falls in love, everybody falls out of love. Everybody's had their heart broken. Everybody loses their hair, you know, from time to time. Maybe
You're telling me
about that one day. So yeah, but there is the magic period, and that was the magic period that made Oasis. You know, I was writing about my life. My life tended to be like 99% of the people that came to the gigs. Los Caliente. Now what's in this, like fucking raspberries or something?
There is some apricot in this.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I'm telling you.
By that do you mean apricot?
Yes, apricot. There's apricot in this. There's some fruit in this.
That's nice, actually.
You're into that one.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Noel, you've been a touring musician for 30 years, and in that time made more than your fair share of headlines. So here on This Wing, we just want to set the record straight on some curious, fabled Noel Gallagher internet rumors, okay? Is there any truth to the rumor that you were sued by Coca-Cola and had to pay $500,000 in damages for allegedly lifting a jingle melody?
You say lifting, we say stole. I do believe that some money had to change hands with Coca-Cola. They were broke at the time. I did steal quite a chunk of a song. Unintentionally, I might add, it was just kind of in there. It's a funny old phone call. You know, we got Coca-Cola on the line. What? We got what? Coca-Cola, I'm going to sue you. It's like, me? Coca-Cola? Fucking wankers. Why? And yeah, I don't know if it was $500,000. I think it's probably more than $500,000. That tune must have earned more than that down the years. But yeah, £500,000.
Is it true that you refused to make music for the Train Spotting soundtrack because you thought it would be a boring movie about people spotting trains?
Nobody told me. Why was it not called fucking heroin fucking, I don't, you know, why did it not say in the title? I'd never heard of Irving Welsh. I'm not very intellectual, I don't read books. And I was like, train spotting? About fucking spotting trains? Nah, you're all right, mate. And little did I know, you know, it would go on to be one of the great British films of all time.
Is it true that the local council set up a bench outside your Primrose home for the fans that were camping out outside?
Yeah, and they put a rubbish bin, cemented one into the street because there was a lot of kids outside my house in the 90s. It could work in your favour if you got up and you had a hangover. You could go out to the front gate and people would get all excited and you just say, you couldn't go to the shop for us and get some cigarettes, could you? And they'd be like, can I get an autograph? I'm like, if you go to the shop and get me 60 Benson and Hedges, get some and some Rizzler papers and the newspaper. Fuck's sake.
And then finally, is it true that you once spent £110,000 on a vintage Jaguar from your birth year that you didn't even know how to drive?
I've never driven it. Still got it. I've never driven it. It's a beautiful car. It's black convertible 1967 Mark II Jaguar. I don't even know how this came about, but I was made aware of this firm in England that find vintage chassis and then put like modern cars in them. And I was like, I want to get I want to do that. And I went to see them and they said it would take about 2 years to build. And I was like, I easily will have passed my test in 2 years. Easily. 2 years later, in my house, and I'm filling the kettle up, flatbed truck pulled up and there was a car on the back of it, and I'm like, look at that fucking car. I want to get me one of those cars one day when I pass my test. Some guy come up with a clipboard. And he looked at the thing and he rang the bell. I went out and he said, I've got a car delivered for Mr. Gallagher. And I was like, and it kind of dawned on me that I'd forgotten to take the driving lessons. I was getting high instead. I mean, I don't know. But I've still got the car, and my kids are kind of vying for who's going to get it.
They're competing a little bit.
Yeah, for who's going to get it. My daughter thinks she's going to get it, but she ain't fucking getting it. See, I fucking hate horseradish.
Really?
I'm not even sure what it is.
I love it. I don't know why.
Well, of course you love it. You've made a fucking career out of it.
Do you like wasabi or anything like that?
Not really. Is that the stuff you get in sushi restaurants, the green stuff?
Right.
Oh. It's like smelling salts.
Yeah, there's something about that I like. Yeah.
Okay. It's starting to get funny now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So they say milk is the best for spicy food. I've seen it on Man vs. Food.
Wow, you came prepared today, Noel.
The funny thing is, all right, I was obsessed with Man vs. Food.
Shout out Adam Richmond, he's a friend of mine.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Fucking dude. The new guy that does it is not great.
Right.
No offense to whoever you are. But, yeah, my wife would walk into, I'd be sitting there kind of fucking watching TV. She's like, what are you watching this shit for? And I was like, size that fucking burger. Look at the fucking size of it. He's going to eat it. And then he's going to get a t-shirt.
Yeah.
He's going to get a t-shirt.
And maybe
if he
a
doesn't
picture
get a
on the
t-shirt,
wall.
he's going to get a picture on the wall in fucking some place in the middle of nowhere.
All right, Noel, we have a recurring segment on our show called Explain That Gram, where we do a deep dive on our guest Instagram, pull interesting pictures that need more context. They're throwbacks,
Jesus.
but
Okay.
I think you'll be in the clear. This is from that Nebworth concert in front of 125,000 people.
We were talking about this the other day. This is 1997. If you think of all the technology that was available then for bands to do gigs that size, like U2 had done the Zoo TV tour and all that, we've got a little fucking shitty piece of cloth as a backdrop which just says Oasis on it, and we thought that'd be enough. I do look back on it fondly, and funnily enough, when we did the Oasis documentary a few years ago, there's a still of the crowd and we're playing, and there's 125,000 people, and the best thing about the photograph is not one single person has got a telephone. So everyone's in the moment with the band. You know, the 250,000 people came to that weekend and there was one arrest. In this day and age, there would be extreme violence, right, and extreme selfie taking and extreme streaming, you know what I mean? So they are good memory of a different time. Fire.
Yep, fire.
Fucking hell. All right, now it's getting fucking dirty, innit?
Yeah.
It's getting dark now. So you eat these for a living?
Yep, that's what I do for a living. That's my job.
Is that where the hair went?
No, the hair left before the wings, believe it or not.
All right, okay.
Maybe if it's coming back a little bit,
Yeah.
Oh. I've heard you say that you're fascinated by Kanye West, and you guys are obviously very different in a lot of ways, but you do have this unique distinction of being two guys who've been clickbaited to the point of not knowing what's fact or what's fiction. What interests you about him, and particularly the interviews that he does?
Well, I hadn't heard his music. The first thing I was aware of was his interviews. I just don't give a fuck. He was doing this interview once, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to steal some of this. He didn't give a fuck. And then I checked out his music, and I really like his music. Black Skinhead was like revolutionary, I suppose.
Didn't you want him to hop on a High Flying Bird song?
No, we were writing this tune for an album, and we were pretending we were going to write it for Kanye. And then it came out, and I was like, fuck him. Fuck him making me $700 million next year. I'll put it out. Make $7,000. Right, go on, I'm going to go for it. Fucking hell.
All right.
Shit. This is Aki.
Akamiso.
This is the Ghost Reaper. Come on, man. Fucking hell. It's two of the worst things ever. The Ghost and the Grim Reaper in one condiment.
Straight to the face.
Fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, this is fucked up.
You're telling me.
I'm getting a fucking suntan. Just by eating it.
So I've heard you talk about the ownership that some of your fans can have over the art that you create.
Crazy. No need for it.
What's the difference between a song that Noel Gallagher wants to make and a song that Noel Gallagher's fans want him to make?
I mean, I guess they'd want me to make music that sounded like Oasis. Fans, they don't know what they fucking want. Nobody wanted Jimi Hendrix before he came along. Nobody wanted Oasis before we came along. Nobody wanted the Sex Pistols. They don't know what they want until you give it to them. But you know, I don't wake up in the morning or go to bed at night worrying about what fans want. You know, if I worried about that, I wouldn't have left Oasis in the first place. I'd still be there picking up the checks, traveling separately from the rest of the band and turning up, dialing it in. Like most fucking rock bands who've been going 30 years. They don't get on, but they haven't got the balls to leave and do their own thing. I don't care what fans want. Fuck them. Not us. Has anyone ever got to the end and not sweated at all?
Well, everybody's different, so everybody will have a different spice tolerance, which is interesting for me on
I've got a
this side
different
of the
spice
table.
tolerance. With the Spice Girls.
But Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was like our season 9 finale. He came in here and he was like basically unfazed.
Dude, right.
He's a real dude. You're a wrestling fan, right?
I do, yeah. I loved watching it in the 90s. Well, my kids are into it now, and I brought one of them to see when it came to London, and we were taken backstage to meet some of the wrestlers. And in walked fucking Hulk Hogan, right? And he bends down and he says to my little lad, "Hey, buddy, how are you, buddy? Give it up for one of my little Hulkamaniacs." And I'm going, "Oh no, fucking Hulk Hogan." And my lad's like, "No." And he's going, "You little one of my little Hulkamaniacs?" Donovan's like, "Yes." And he looked up at me and he said, "What about you, big man? Are you one of my Hulkamaniacs?" And I was like, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." And he was going, "You hear that? Your daddy's a Hulkamaniac and you're a Hulkamaniac." We would put me and look at each other going. And I remain to this day
A Hulkamaniac.
a confirmed Hulkamaniac.
Card-carrying Hulkamaniac.
Absolutely. Was it vitamins?
Vitamins.
Eat vitamins, fuck hookers, do cocaine, abuse steroids, go to church, and everything will be fine. I've lived my life with that credo ever since.
Thanks, Hulk Hogan.
And here I am.
All right, this next one, should you choose
Fucking brutal now.
to bomb beyond insanity?
Fucking hell. The bomb beyond insanity. The bomb. Oh, that's dark. That's fucking dark. You do this for a living and you're grimacing. Fuck off.
I am not too tough. I am not too tough. Who's the greatest songwriter of all time in your opinion?
Me, clearly.
Of all the instruments that you've owned, which one has the most interesting backstory? I read recently that Johnny Marr of the Smiths gifted you a Les Paul before you were famous.
Yeah, and it used to belong to Pete Townsend. It's royalty, that guitar. Paul Weller's given me guitars in the past. It's like a warrior giving another warrior a sword.
Right. You get Excalibur there.
Oh. Mate, this is fucking, that's a madman.
You're telling me.
I am fucking telling you.
Is there an album that's been released in the last 20 years that you would consider a masterpiece?
Right at this very moment, difficult to say
That's the show.
because that fucking thing is mental. But off the top of my head, which none of you can see this at home, but it is starting to shrivel, I'd say one of mine, maybe Who Built the Moon?
Can you give us one band that everyone should see before they die?
Actually, there's a band called Young Fathers. That's the last great band I've seen live. Fucking amazing. Has anybody ever come back for a second go?
Actually, we've had a couple people. Recently, in between seasons, we've been doing these reunion specials. Can we count on you, Noel?
Not a fucking chance. Right. That was dark. The Bomb Beyond Insanity.
Yeah.
That was dark. This next one's called Burn After Eating. Fuck. I'm not eating any more than that. I mean, people genuinely eat this shit out.
Some people are crazy. Some people are crazy.
Why are they taking a fucking woman on a date? Oh, wow. And eating that? Fucking hell. Oh my God.
What does it mean when people from Manchester say, that song is Bobbins?
It means it's not very good.
Bobbins is not good.
Bobbins, yeah. Bobbins are little plastic things that people used to sew on fucking other things.
Can you explain the whole tea, dinner, lunch thing? Because it's very confusing.
Okay. Up north, lunch is called dinner. And dinner is called tea. And the only thing that will give away that you live in London to a Mancunian is the fact that you say, I'm going for lunch.
For our viewers who are probably not familiar, what can you tell us about Manchester legend, a guy called Gerald?
Oh, well, he was a DJ. He wrote one of the seminal great dance music singles of all time called Voodoo Ray. An absolute pioneer. Without him, electronic music would have been a very different place, I think.
Did you have a favorite teacher at St. Mark's?
No. No. They were all fucking... What are you doing? What are you doing with that? Okay. Right. I'm not putting any more on.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, it already tastes fucking... Already. It's not even gone in. Here's the thing, why does it not burn your stomach?
Yet.
Fuck.
Here we are at the end of our
plus.
run, and you famously have an opinion on everything. But let me just throw a couple subjects at you, and you just tell me the first thoughts that come to mind, okay? Manchester United.
In the past, irrelevant.
Brexit.
Oh, just the biggest load of shit ever. I think it's a stupid backward step that the country is taking. Saying that, the majority of the people democratically voted for it, so they've got to see it through now. But the politicians are trying to make it not happen. They're a fucking disgrace, the politicians are not. I mean, most politicians anyway are a disgrace. The ones in England have not covered themselves in glory over the past 2 years.
YouTube.
It can be all right, can't it? Do we need to see goats singing Taylor Swift songs? I'm not sure the world needs that. But other than that, some good stuff on there. You're on there. I'm on there.
We're on there.
I'm on there, fucking being burnt to death now, forever.
Well, you know what? It was not in vain, Noel Gallagher, because now you have just taken on the wings of death.
I want a fucking t-shirt and a cup with the thing on and a picture on the Wall of Fame.
Watch us see that through.
I want a fucking t-shirt.
But in the meantime, Noel Gallagher, there's nothing left to do but roll out the red carpet for you, my friend. This camera, this camera, this camera. Let the people know what you have going on in your life.
What have I got going on? Well, today I'll be going straight to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. But I do have an EP out, which will help, the proceeds will help my recovery, which is going to be fucking long. You're welcome, by the way. I'm a credit to the fucking world. Thank you very much. Oh, have I got steam coming out my ears?
No, you look good.
Like when they choose a new pope?
No, maybe even better now than when you walked in.
Oh, fucking hell.
What's up, Spice Lords? Camera Guy Bill here saying it's that time again to sign up for the new Hot One subscription box. That's right, this October, you can be the first to get your hands on the new Hot One Season 10 Heavyweight Champion, the Last Dab XXX. It really packs the heat with Chocolate X, Peach X, Mustard X. But quantities are limited, so you gotta go to heatness.com to sign up for your box now. That's right, go to heatness.com to sign up for your box now. It's a real knockout. Oh, it's Camera Guy Bill here, saying it's good to be Camera Guy Bill.